Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again with my old trusty Pecron E2000LFP update. So as you guys know, in that last video, I updated the main board. This big thing, this big old honking thing, it's huge. I don't know if you can see all that. Look at all that, guys. That's a huge board right there. So that's the main board that basically is the inverter for the AC for the entire E2000LFP. And you guys know that I updated the new MPPT controllers, and I updated the main board, and hopefully next week I have another cool thing that I'm going to try. I'm basically rebuilding my system to the version 2 piece by piece, which that's kind of crazy, but you know, it's been a heck of a journey, and I just wanted to give you guys the update. These pieces that I'm putting in the machines are what you would get if you buy a machine now. Obviously I have generation 1, and you know, it'd be nice to upgrade everything to, you know, generation 2 if you will, or further. But I have another surprise coming in, another video hopefully by next week, but it's going to take some time. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. The system is still working good. The solar's coming in about 263, not too much, but you'll see that really spike in a minute. A little bit of clouds out there, and as soon as they get out of the way, we can get some, you know, we can get some money coming in here. Notice that the voltage, guys, is still 121 volts. That's awesome, guys. I really enjoy that higher voltage. It's better for the equipment, and it's better because usually a lot of times you have problems with electronics if the voltage dips too low, if it's too high or too low. See, most electronics are made and designed to go between that 110 and 120 mark. You know, they're kind of averaging 110. So if you have a 110 system and you push it really hard and it drops to like 108, 107, you kind of see where the problem would be. So you're kind of underpowering it, kind of thing. I used to have an old RV. A lot of people know that it was a Toyota Dolphin. Basically, I had the Raider version, same thing, but you know, that was a 4-cylinder engine in a huge RV that's 21 feet and, you know, like 5,000 pounds. So obviously, when you're trying to drag a 5,000-pound vehicle plus all your stuff and your family down the road with a 4-cylinder, that's under voltage kind of thing, you know, when you're trying to run something. So just to kind of give you an idea here, you see it's going up a little bit now. It should go up a lot more than that, guys. Get that cloud out of the way and get something done here. Yeah, I wanted to you know, just do another update, guys. It's a whisper quiet, but I have also possibly another surprise for this video because well, here, let's test the sound here. See, totally quiet, guys, other than the fans. This side has the fans on, as you can see. Right? So we're pushing 460 watts input, right? As you see, that's going up. Those clouds are starting to get out of the way. So almost 500 watts input, and I think we're put about 200 output. So altogether, you know, you're pushing about 700 watts through the system. And listen how quiet it is. All you hear is a little bit of hum from the fan. Here, we're going up more. Let's see how high we can get. Maybe we can get, you know, 1,000 watts today. All depends on the clouds out there. Okay, we're pushing 600 here. But I like to make as many videos as I can. Number one, because I ramble a lot. And number two, these videos help a lot of people if they have questions or something. It's really nice to see this long, I'm going to almost call it like a movie TV series. I mean, I put out probably 100 videos on this system alone. I know it's hundreds of hours of recording time. Here we got 700. It's going up, but I like that because if I wanted to, you know, learn about something, I want as much information as I can possibly find from every source. Oh, okay. So the fans kicked out a little bit. Let's go listen to them. As you can see, that the system is heating up a little bit because obviously, you know, we're pulling in. Look at this, 830 watts. So altogether, look at, we're up to 1,000 watts almost. So understandably so, when your engine gets warm, you know, your fan kicks on. So that's a normal thing. It's extremely quiet still. I love that part. I do like that new one though. Boy, if I had the extra money to put at that E1500LFP with all the batteries, I would drop today and get it. I would call on a credit card and pay it off. Oh, 900. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. The clouds are moving out of the way. So altogether now we're using approximately 1,100 watts just under 1100 watts. And you can see 1100 watts through this box, and it's literally two little fans. Possibly, you know, the MPPT controllers are probably spinning two, and then there's two little fans that are on either side of these guys. I'll show you on the board. That way we can all learn together as far as the pieces inside this thing. Okay, see these little fans here? So there's two little, these are little PC fans. You'll find them a lot in electronics. You know, it just cools. And then these are your huge cooling sink things. So they're aluminum. I don't know if I have enough room here to show you these. Let me back the camera up just a little bit, guys. Sorry. Okay, so see these are huge cooling sinks. And inside there, they have all the capacitors and stuff crammed into that one. You can't see. There's this big boy's in the way. But see in that one, there's all these little, well, hopefully you can see that. Hold on, let me get something so you can see it a little bit better here. Let me get this here and this here. Okay. Never leave home without a flashlight. Okay. So, as you see, hopefully that's not too bright. I don't want to over bright. Maybe it's too bright. So, you see the little capacitor things in there? Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if it's too bright, guys. I'm trying to figure out a way for you to see that on camera. But inside there's a row of capacitors, things that go all the way down. And that's how they're cooling those down, is for these little cooling sinks here, the aluminum cooling sinks, or heat sinks they call them. And then they have these little fans that push the air through the system all the way through. Now I bent these out of the way because this part of the video I want to show you of what I found. I don't need this board anymore. It's a good board, but I just bent these out of the way to show you something. And this is what I want to show you. So, as this is kind of ramping down a little bit, I want to show you something that I've noticed since I put the new board in, guys. All right. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully this will work, because I'm going to try this for the first time live on video here. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the 60 volt and the 48 volt. Like I said, I don't charge through the batteries much unless I have to. Unless, you know, the batteries are low and I need to push extra power in. Otherwise, you have to wait for that power meter to reset. Now the E1500 doesn't do that. Awesome, awesome upgrade. Okay, so I'm going to pull these out and hopefully it'll happen. Okay, and you'll understand if it happens. Okay, there goes the 48 and there goes the 60. We're going to let it go down and we're kind of going to be quiet for a minute just to see the reaction of the system. Okay, okay, there. Okay, you guys hear that? You hear it? It's very, very faint, but give it a second, guys. Maybe it'll make it louder. Darn. Okay, it didn't do it very long. Guys, I heard the modem sound. You remember that modem sound that everybody kept saying that they heard, and I never heard it? Guys, I heard the modem sound. So that has to be a communications board in there, talking to the other ones, or a resettling communication. I don't know what it is. But that's the first time I've ever heard that, guys. So I just wanted to add this to this video. It doesn't affect the performance. As you can see, I'm still like 122 volts strong. Power factor's going out, 26.5 on the battery box. So everything's perfect. But I wanted to see if I could redo that noise. All right, let me plug these back in and we're going to try it again. Just because I never heard it before, but a few people have told me that they heard a thing called, and I've actually saw videos of it, but I've never heard it myself. So I was always like, well, I don't know if the folks are hearing stuff, but when a few people sent me videos of it making that noise, it sounds like communication board. All right, so we're going to let it charge. You can see I'm getting in pretty good solar today. It's not bad. My solar array usually brings in about 900 to 1,000 all the time, depending on the sun, obviously. But there's a reason I bent these boards out of the way. So on the boards, even though I'm not an electrician, I'm not a Sparky, I'm not a certified technician of any, but I'm a sound guy that's very curious. I think that's the best way to explain it. And then this is a heat warning thing. That way, this little blob right here with this wire that tells the system if it's too hot, it shuts down for safety. Okay, so I bent these out of the way a little bit. So this is, everyone knows this is tall boy. That's the tall boy in that one, I think it was a German guy's video that he did. So I bent this out of the way just a little bit, which is not a good idea to do on your circuit boards, guys. Don't be bending this stuff. But I did that for a reason, so you can see this board right here. Now this board right here, if you look at this little circle, this little black dot, right there. That to me looks like, if you guys remember old, I don't want to say cheap electronics, but old electronics from like Radio Shack. Remember they had that little speaker thing? That was a little tiny speaker, and it's a circle with a hole in it. That would put out like warning beeps and communication beeps and old electronics. I can't remember anything that I had with them. I'm trying to remember things that had that. It's been, 30, 40 years since I was a kid there. But this looks like a speaker to me, guys. If I'm wrong, correct me. As I said, I'm learning too on this channel. Hopefully you can see this. Let me try to get some more light on here. Okay, right there. See that black little circle? See the hole in the middle? That looks like, now like I said, I could be wrong. That looks like a speaker. I've seen it's the version 1.22. I don't know what that board is, but it almost looks like a communications board. It's not hooked to anything other than the main board. So maybe that's the balancing communication board that, everybody was hearing with those beepy things, okay? So now that the solar's going down here, it's down to 184. Like I said, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. If you know what that board is, let me know. I'd love to, I'm learning too. This is a learning experience for me for sure. But everything that we can put out there as far as information, I think Pecron is incredibly going in the right direction. I think they're, from that first review that I saw on Hobotech, you remember that real big 3000 one? It looked like a big cube, and I think it had a handle and wheels on it. Remember the big, it looks like a lunchbox. If you go back and watch Hobotech's video, you'll see it's a big yellow one. And then they came out with the E3000. Like, that's when I started looking at this stuff, is that probably that video with Hobotech as far as Pecron. And then I started getting hooked with the E3000. And then once they went to that lithium iron phosphate batteries, man, just take my money. And I did. I bought a $4,500 system here. Okay, so we're going to pull this out again, and we're going to see if it makes that modem sound. Now, I noticed it normally does it about 300 watts. When it's input, output altogether, about 300 watts. Okay, so I just never did it on video, so that's why it's always hard to catch stuff on video, guys, Okay, so I'm going to unplug these real quick. We're going to hot unplug them. Not a good idea to do. And we're going to see if it makes the noise, guys. Okay, we're going to go right over here to the speaker, and we're going to listen. There, I don't hear it. I don't hear it this time. Okay, but it would make that like that. It sounds like a modem. Like, holy crapzilla, I've never heard it before. Especially on my system. I've never dealt with that. But I wish it would make that noise now. No, I don't hear it. I'm just trying to, sorry about the silence, guys. I didn't, yeah, you didn't lose me. I'm just trying to recreate. Let me try one more time. Okay, we're gonna throw in, hopefully that'll shoot up to 800-900 again, so we can have some communication between the batteries and everything. But I think that's what it is, guys. I think it's nothing to worry about. I think it's a communications where the system is talking to the rest of the system and kind of saying, hey, is everything good over here? Is there a problem? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's all it is. I really do. But like I said, I'm not a certified guy. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy staring at his box. And I heard it for the first time, and I thought, I'm going to try to catch it on video. So let's hope. Let's hope. And then, guys, let me know, like I said, in the comments, if you know what this board is. Okay, it's version 1.22. I don't know, it looks like, when I open laptops all the time, this looks like a very big Wi-Fi card or a modem. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know what I'm looking at. So, I'm learning it as we go as well. Let's see if we can get a spike in power again real quick here. We got to wait, obviously, for the clouds. Okay, fans have kicked on a little bit. But you're right around that 300 watts. So either it should kind of do it now, or when you unplug the solar, it did it. And you know what's crazy? It did it. Wait. No, I don't hear it. I thought I heard it. But it's very faint. It's very faint. And it just sounds like like that. Like, like if you guys remember the 56K modems, that's what it sounds like without the big-ong at the end. Everyone knows that, the old 56K modem song. But you remember that grinding kind of sound, you know, that's information talking. That's a database transfer of information. That's probably normal to it as our voice is normal to us. But I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool that I actually heard it for once. Being that there's a whole new board in there, obviously maybe I'm hearing what other people are hearing with this system now. Like I said, it works perfect. I have no problems. I use this every single day, guys. This has been cycled every single day, with probably maybe 1 or 2 days off. Obviously, I had to take that motherboard out, and I took the MPPT, so, you know, you lose a little downtime there. Other than that, this bad boy has been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 for the last year plus. I mean, with no breaks. And it usually just sits in a corner like this. Actually, my Oukitels are in the corner. It sits by the corner, and it just sits there and powers everything that I need. Like I said, I'm using 151 watts. I'm using, let's see, my laptop, my TV, lights to film this video. I have a 7.4 cubic foot refrigerator hooked to it that pops on once in a great while. And then I have a 5-foot coffin style freezer that's hooked to this. All through 2 main things, and then these 2 things are hooked to power strips, and that's a second line of defense in case you know, you have a power surge. It goes and pops the power strip before it gets to this. You know, it's just one more thing I try to do as far as a line of defense, if you will. All right, so we're right around that watts. I wish it would go up so I can pull it out when it's strong again, because that's when I heard it the first time, and I thought, holy crap, that, I don't know if it's Kevin. No, Kevin had the fan that was grinding, and then that fixed. That was a simple fix, guys. It's this 25-50 cent fan right here, and all it's, you know, either it was loose or too tight. Like literally, you pull this out and then you pop this out, put a new one on, or loosen or tighten it. I think they should, while we're waiting for that, I think they should put, as I said in the other videos, a little bit of silicone or rubber would melt, but, you know, just something. There has to be something that you could put in there, some kind of a washery kind of substance, or a washery kind of device that lifts it up just a hair above, you know, where the plastic is, because I think the plastic and the aluminum is where the brrr was coming from. That's what I think, unless it was a fan that was tilted. It also doesn't help, guys, that they didn't use all 4 of these screws, right? So if you use all 4 of something, you have it planted equally amount of pressure on all 4 ports. If you just do 2, you kind of make that taco kind of bend, you know, almost like this, where you're forcing 2 sides down, and then the other ones are kind of up because you're only screwing down 2 sides like that. So that was Kevin's issue. I don't know, maybe it was Buck G or G Buck, but somebody sent me a video. I'd have to go back and look of that modem sound. Okay, here we're starting to get some power back in. So let's hopefully that'll hit 8,900, and then I'll pop them out hot and see if it makes that modem-y sound thing. And hopefully, I know it's a long video, guys, and I apologize, but you know me, I ramble anyway, so whether I'm on video or not, I'll ramble. All right, 450, come on, let's get that up there. It looks like one cloud is in the, you know, maybe half in the way. As you can see, it's kind of inching up there. The weather is nice today. It's nice and maybe about 50. And for this time of the year, I'll take 50, because pretty soon that old man winter's coming and it's going to be cold. All right, so we're 5, so we're inching up there. All right, you know what? Let's try it at 5, and then hopefully it'll do it. And then maybe we'll try it again and wait a little longer, because it's kind of sitting at 5. So I'm gonna pull these real quick, and we're gonna see. All right, now if I hear it, I'll put the camera right there quickly. Yeah, see, I don't hear it again, guys. Boy, I wish it would do. You know, it's like catching a leprechaun on video. You know, I'm looking for a Bigfoot here, and I can't find it. I wish it would just make the noise one time so I can catch you on video. Come on, buddy. Let's see. No, so I don't hear anything, guys. I don't hear anything. Doggone it. If I do hear the sound, I'll add it to the end of this video, guys. And if we don't catch it live right now, I'll add it to the, let's try to go, maybe we can get to that 800 or 900 mark again. That's when it did it, guys. I came in here and I unplugged it at about 800 or 900 watts, And I heard it for like the first time, and I was like, holy crap, that's the sound that people were talking about. I've never heard that before. But like I said, it doesn't affect the system. It has to be some kind of internal communications, probably talking to the inverter and the main board and the DC inverter if that's on, and then the batteries. You know, you have to have a brain inside there, you know, that communicates of all these pieces, and it jibber jabbers back and forth to say, hey, you know, you good? You doing your job? Good. Okay, you doing your job? And he's like the central command center, if you will. And like I said, I think it's this one, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Half the stuff, when you look at this stuff, if you're not an electrician or a engineer, you don't even know what that is. Like, I know these are coils. Those are resistors. Those are big ball things. Those are not resistors, I'm sorry, capacitors, and that stores energy. They like charge. Maybe that's the sound of those charging. I have no idea. But I don't know. I just wanted to catch it. These are your fuses. Look, there's inline fuses here. Look at that. Oh, look at that. The fuse thing popped off. Holy cow. All right, let's put that back on. The fuses, the circuit fuse thingy is still good in there, but the top of it, holy cow! That's like a brand new. I got to put that back. There you go. Okay. Well, that was weird. Okay, let's pull out this one. Oh, look, the tops pop right up. Guys, this would be tough to get out of there. Maybe you got to squeeze it with some kind of like a pliers or something like that. There's a special tool. It's like a squeezy plier plastic thing. Boy, I can't see that, my old eyeballs. Okay. Trying to get that back on there. Isn't taking apart electronics fun, guys? Don't do it if you don't know how. Believe me, I risked my whole system by taking this stuff apart and learning as I go. This almost looks like, while we're waiting for this darn thing again, this almost looks like a RAM chip. You know, in a laptop, it looks like that 264 DIN RAM chip. And they got a little piece of plastic here separating that from this coil. And then there's these two yellow things. I have no idea what those are. I'm still trying to figure out what the stuff is. And as I said, I'm learning as I'm going here. And then the tall one, I know that the tall one, this hooks to the front board. So that's definitely a communications of either the 12 volt or I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know. But I know that the wire goes from the tall boy through the top of here into the back of this main board right here. That's some kind of communication device, and it's like a 6-pin. And that was the one thing that gave me a little bit of, I don't know what the right word is, strength, if you will, or positivity to rip this apart and, you know, wreck my whole system possibly, is some of them only have 2 pins like this one. I think it's a PH2 port. That way you know kind of where they go. But there's some boards on here, guys, that have the same pins. Like this looks like an XT30 pin. And what that's for is the charging from the solar goes into, I think it's into here, and then out to the batteries from here on both boards. Okay, I heard something. It was just a fan. Let's go listen here. Yep, that's just a fan. Okay. I want to catch this on video really bad, just so people can hear and see this thing. Like I said, it doesn't affect the system. I mean, it works fine. I use it every day for many things. So I haven't had any problem. I don't use this anymore, guys. This barrel, I kind of gave up on it. It's small. It's 100 watts, and it puts extra pressure on, you know, these guys. Let these guys do their main job. If you're using these guys, try not to use this, because it's kind of like putting more weight on a truck when it's going down the road. These are bringing in 1200 watts. That's pretty good. The 1300 watts for the amount of strain on the boards and the heat. You'll hear the fans that kick up. Oh, here we go, 730. Okay, we're getting there. You'll see the fans will you know, kick on a little bit more, and the system has to work harder, because I don't know where this energy goes. When you're already using this in this MPPT controller, and you're using this one in this one has to share with one of these. I'm assuming it can't go straight into the batteries, of course. So unless that has its own circuitry somewhere, I haven't seen it. I mean, all 3 of these wires go basically to here and then right to the BMS, and so I don't know where this one goes so much, but I don't use it anymore, guys. Okay, so the fans are kicking on. Let's do that. Okay, no, just the fans. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it. It's like catching Bigfoot, guys. I'm gonna sit out here all day until I hear this darn thing on video again here. Boy, that solar is a pain in the butt, guys, isn't it? You know what we have to get rid of in life? Clouds. If we could get rid of clouds, guys, man, solar would be awesome, wouldn't it? Solar power would be awesome. But those clouds can, boy, this would be 1,000 watts normally, and now we're down to, 25% of that because of those darn clouds. And it's a beautiful, bright day out, except all you need is that in front of your camera, and you can't see your solar. See, look at the big jump here because the cloud moved out of the way. Let's hopefully get that back up to 8, and then I'll unplug it and see if it does it here. Once again, sorry for the long video, guys. I just want to put all the information I can out there because all the information is better. Even though these videos are really long, man, it's going to help somebody. It really is. I wish that these videos would have been there when I bought the first system, because I had to figure out the hidden menu to figure out. I had to figure out the cables. It's like, holy cow, that was a lot for a guy that doesn't know anything about solar, and he jumps into this $4,500 system. That was like going to college, guys. That was a long year. But I'm very thankful because, look, we started a channel. We have a subscriber family. I gained a ton of knowledge from all my friends on the internet now, Jasonoid and Reway and all those guys. And there's tons of people now that we can build a community so we can all understand this and utilize it at its full potential. And then if something goes awry, we can either fix it or learn why it went awry. Like, what mistake did we make? You know what I mean? Like, don't make my mistake. Learn from my videos. If I make a mistake, don't do what I did. These I never use, guys. I'm not a barrel guy, which is another reason why I don't use that. I'm not a fan of barrels. That was like Radio Shack days 30 years ago. I don't use this much anymore. Once in a while, I'll sometimes power dump from here into a smaller system, but I wish, actually, Pecron, if you're listening, see this old system here? This is an Energizer PS320. See this input PD delivery? This is an input USB-C. Hopefully you can see that. And this is an output one. I don't know if that's maybe a possibility, guys, that you could put that on your new system. I like it. I know it's only 100 watts. I love being able to put extra energy inside a system. Let me give you for example. It's not much, but let me give you for example. So I have a handful of these. These are what I call my first power station, if you will. It's basically a power brick. It's 20,000 milliamp hours in here, and it's just a small. It's heavy, but it's just a smaller brick. And I have a handful of these. And imagine, guys, if you needed, if you could take these and power dump this little bit of power into there if you ever needed it for an emergency. I thought that would be cool. Otherwise, you can't really use this because you usually need the AC outlets, right? So if you could power dump this into the USB-C and just have a little bit of trickling, just a little bit, maybe it'd be enough to get you through a night of cold camping or, whatever you're doing, emergency or whatever. But I like that I have two systems, guys, that have that. One is the Energizer that I showed you here, and then one is this this Mylan one. This is one of the first, I think it's the first system I've ever bought. But see, it's got this PD delivery port, input and output. I like that, guys. I really like that. And just to show you here, I have this, and you need a 100 watt cable, guys. You have to have that, okay? So if I go here, remember mine's only 65 watts out, so don't make fun of my system, guys. Okay, all you guys get 100 watt systems because I yelled at Pecron and they listened. Okay, so 65 watt output. Now, obviously, it's not putting out anything yet because it's not hooked up. But we're going to take this wire and we're going to put it in. Let's see, we're going to go in here. Okay, so now it's in the Energizer one. And notice how it kicked on right away, guys. I think that's cool. And then this would give out up to 100 watts. I think it's only going to give out maybe 40 or 50 because remember, I only have a 65 watt output. But you see that? So I'm actually power dumping through a USB cable. That's why I do like this option. Pecron, if you're listening, please, I don't know if you will, but please add this as a function to your system. I think it's neat. Oh, look at that. I got my full 64 watts. That's rare because normally I don't get that much. So here's 64. And if I take this same cable now, okay, sorry, Energizer, and I bring it over here to the Mylan, and I plug it in the Mylan one, notice that turned on right away. It's very hard to see because that one's a really kind of a crappy screen. That's as bright as it gets, guys. Look at this. Off and on. That's it. That's all you get. But that was one of the first ones I ever bought. But notice that, see that popped on, and it's bringing in 56 watts. I don't know if you get, hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to make it. Okay, hopefully you can see that, but you can definitely see the battery bar going up and down. But this is an option that I really like. I really, really like this. It's a simple, old-fashioned option, according to power stations. I don't see it on many. I wish Bluetti would do it too. I love their power stations too. I'm saving up for that AC500 with all the batteries. That is a monster system. And the 3600 LFP when that comes out. I mean, that's another one that's holy cow. I can't wait to see the specs on that one as far as, you know, the reviews. I watched Jason Roy's review of that E1500, and man, I'm captivated. I want it. I want the entire stack, and I want the E3600. I'll do reviews on all of them. That's no problem for me. You know me, I'm going to ramble anyway, so I might as well have some nice systems to ramble about. But any of those three, the AC500, the AC300, the E1500, the E2000, and the E3600, I think all 5 of those systems, I think they're good systems. Now, the E3600 is not out yet, so I can't really vouch for that. But and I don't have an E1500, but I've seen reviews already on it, and it was very positive. I think Reeway did it. I think Jason Roy did it. And I think Hobotech did it. So I mean, those are, you know, 3 of the people in my community that I watch, and they were all positive. So you know, that's a very, I think this company's going in the right direction. I think Bluetti's getting better. I think let's see, what was the other one I was watching? EcoFlow, of course. Another dream system I wish to have is that, you know, the big stack of those EG4s. I'd love to have a server rack full of those bad boys, like, you know, 20 to 30,000 watt hours in a server rack with all-in-one. That would be the ultimate upgrade. But you know, that's something that you can't move. It's not portable. These you could take apart and pull this, and then reset it up somewhere else. You can't do that with a rack system. I mean, they're huge. Well, you can, but it's huge. You know what I mean? It's a huge system. The big container is huge. So, you know, that would be for here. And then I put this bad boy in my RV and have 8 kilowatts, guys. 8,000 watt hours in an RV. All right, so here we're going up again. Let's see if we can get that up a little higher, and hopefully this time it'll pop on. If it doesn't, all right, I kind of give up because it's been a long time. I don't know how long this video is, but you know, my rambling has gone on long enough here. But this is a good video just to watch because you're seeing the system in action, right? It's not an ad. It's not a newspaper picture. This is the system working in real time, and I like that. I like reviews that have that, where you can see, not, you know, jump to here, jump to. This is the system in real time, and if you see any bugs or problems, here we got 860. You know, then you would obviously see the problem in real time. Okay, so we have almost 900. I'm gonna let it go a little bit. I'm gonna let the fans kick on, and then hopefully it'll do it. Okay, so fingers crossed, guys. Let's hope it does it this time. I hate to lose that much power, but for the sake of the video, absolutely I'll do it. All right, so let's wait just a second. See, the fans haven't even kicked on, guys. Here, listen. I mean, they're on, but they're like barely on. You know what I mean? We're putting 1,000 watts through this box right here. You know, in and out total, and listen how quiet that is. I mean, you could barely hear. The fans are like maybe, I don't know, maybe 30% on, if I could guess. Oh, here, see, now they're speeding up a little bit. Okay, so now you hear the fans. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I was waiting for that because that usually means the system is warm. Okay, now I'm going to pop these out. I'm going to hot pull them, okay? All right, let's watch in real time. Hopefully it makes the noise of the modem sound. All right, fingers crossed, guys. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to pop these out at 850 watts. Okay, both arrays are out, and we're going to hopefully listen. Oh, here. Did you guys hear it? Did you guys hear it? It went. It wasn't a lot, but I heard it. Okay, guys, if you want to replay the video, it was very short, but guys, I heard it. I heard it again. Oh, the DC's still on. I was wondering why the power is down. I wish it would do it longer, but so guys, that's the sound that people were talking about, that modem-y kind of sound, like that grinding. And I think, and it's only a thought, I think it's coming from here. I could be completely wrong, but this to me looks like a speaker. It does. It looks like those old, if you guys remember what kind of boards have speakers like that. Like, do you remember the old, like, what was it, like, oh, I thought I heard it. Like, you know, you push a button, it goes A, B, you know, that old electronic-y kind of voice? I think it comes from things like that. Like, old computers used to have that on the board. It was like a size of a quarter with a hole in the middle, and that was actually a speaker. And a lot of people didn't know that back in the days. And that was like a, oh, I thought I heard it. A interface, like Commodore 64 had that. I'm pretty sure on the board. It was like a little warning kind of communication thing, like an audible beep, if you will. Laptops might have it, I don't know, but laptops have speakers, so I don't, you know, actual full-fledged speakers, so I don't think they need that anymore. But old boards used to have that little dot like that. And what makes me think it's a speaker is it has the hole in the middle. But like I said, I could be 100% inaccurate. I could be 100% wrong, but there's really nothing here other than whatever's these yellow things. I don't know what those are. That, you know, looks like a speaker to me. And the only reason that I know what speakers look like is because I'm an audio guy, so that helps. But yeah, I don't really see anything else on the board that, yeah, that could make a sound like that, you know. But who knows? Like I said, I'm not an electrician and I'm not a engineer, so I really don't know what I'm looking at. But hopefully you guys, you know, by viewing these videos and learning from either my mistakes or my crazy inventions or tests or theories, maybe that'll give you some insight, because I'm not an electrician or an engineer, I'm thinking outside the box. You know, if you go to school for a certain thing, like say drywall, you know, you're taught the traditional ways, and if you walk into a classroom or a university or something like that, and you're not educated in that way, you're thinking differently than the people in that class would, because your mind is set to a different, they always call it thinking out of the box, you know what I mean? Outside the box, which means you have a very unorthodox thinking style because you weren't formally trained. That's how some actors are in movies. I know that's a ramble, but you know, they're trained outside the norm. So sometimes they invent stuff that we've never, you know, can dream of. You know what I mean? Like someone had to invent all this stuff. So they obviously were thinking outside the box for options and, you know, little things like that. Like my idea about the lights around these rings, like all these would light up. I think that would be cool, guys. Then you could see them in the dark and know where they are. There was the system that I just looked at. It's premiering today, and it's I think it was that system. Yeah, but I've looked at so much stuff, guys. My head is spinning from this stuff. I wish I had $1 billion so I could buy one of everything and review it all. But it had this little LED that looked like ground effects on the bottom, and I thought, well, that was my idea that already somebody has, that I came up with. Because I was thinking about cars and motorcycles, ground effects. And I thought, well, if you could put that ground effects kind of in these buttons or near them, or have the, you know, these kind of light up somehow, then you could see them in the dark, guys. Like, I don't like systems like this. I like the Oukitel, but you see how these are on the side? I didn't like that. I like the panel covers, but I like everything on the front, so I can access it in the front. You know what I mean? I have two systems together, which it's not always a good idea, guys, because this is an off ramble here. The heat from this one, this is only charging at 25, so it's very, very slow. I trickle charge these, and then I use them as backup for safety. But the heat that comes out of one machine will get sucked right into the input of the machine next to it. So this is not the best configuration if you're using these at, you know, full power and full capacity, guys. So learn from my mistakes. Is obviously this machine will run hotter because it's sucking in hotter air, and if you did that to a car, your car engine would not be happy. So, but since this one is literally bringing in, what is it, like 30 watts, that's doing absolutely nothing to the system, considering it takes 20 watts per hour to run this system. So I'm only gaining 7, 8, 9 watts of input on this thing. But like I said, I let these trickle charge, which is the best way to charge a battery ever, except it's extremely time consuming. But this is leftover power from my panels, and it dumps into this system, because why not, right? See, I'm only getting 5 watts. If you minus the 20 from the system, I'm only getting 4 or 5 watts. But man, you want to talk about being nice to the battery cells? Holy crap, Zilla, that will make this battery last forever, because you're not overpowering it, not even in theory. But this is my main system here, the E2000LFP. So, all right, well, guys, I guess that can conclude the video. If I hear a stronger noise, it was louder before, but now did you notice that when I pop these up, it did make the noise? Hopefully you can go back and listen to it, but it goes like that. That has to be that communication thing. And then, guys, do me a favor. Once again, leave me a message. If you know a comment, if you know what this is, and if you think that's a speaker on that little board right there, man, let me know. Because, like I said, I'm learning as I go. And it's very hard to learn this stuff when you have no community to talk to. That's why we have the Scriber family and all the cool people on YouTube. You're included, guys. Awesome. Even if you don't know anything, because you don't know something about something, your thoughts outside the box might be the answer that we all need to fix a problem. So you are definitely part of the community, even if you're brand new to solar. So I mean, I only have about a year, really good experience. But I've learned a lot in a year. All right, guys, ramble on, be safe. We have that premiere coming up, hopefully tonight, if this video gets put up today. If not, ramble on, be safe, guys, and I'll see you next time on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye, guys. Okay, guys, a bonus part of this little video here. This is the entire system that I took apart. This is just for full proof that I actually did this. This is me, and this is my screen here. This is everything that I took out of the system. So I'm going to start from left to right. Obviously, you don't need that many tools to take this apart. So let's start on this side. This is the actual battery cells. Underneath here is the BMS. I didn't need to take that apart, because leave this alone, because you could really get shocked. And then if you're quote unquote crazy enough to open stuff like this, especially if you don't have any formal training, which I don't, make sure that you tape these ring terminals on this bad boy, because if they touch, or you touch them, or they touch something, bad day. This is your actual bracket that holds the battery cells, the actual pack, into place on the system. And then these things screw to this, and then this is the front plate. So this is the front plate that has the 3 boards. I thought it was 4, but it's only 3. This is the USB side with the 12-volt cigarette lighter here. And let me make sure this is all in video. Okay. So this is the 12-volt cigarette lighter on this side, and then the USBs are down here and everything. And then your barrels are underneath there, your heat sink, and then this is your transfer cable that puts power from here to your USB cable. And then what that does is it transfers power from a port that's over here. The picture's kind of cut off. That goes up to the wireless charging. But the wireless charging board you don't have to take off. When you take the unit apart, it can stay on the top. You just unplug it. Otherwise, that would be laying right here next to all this stuff. And then this is the main board. This is the actual, if you will, the AC motherboard. That's the power inverters that I showed you that I swapped out. And then these are the 2 MPPT controllers. I always do this with wires, guys, just to keep them clean, and that way you don't end up accidentally ripping one of these out or forgetting where the heck it goes. I mean, look at all these wires, guys. You have to put them back exactly 100% exactly where they go. Luckily, they're color coded for the power one, so that was, these 3 go here. That's nice. But when you get to stuff like this, you have to remember where that goes on the board. And these are the MPPT controllers, so you have inputs and then you have outputs, and then that's, like I said, it could get really, if you've never taken electronics apart, guys, don't. If you just don't, unless it's something, as a kid, I took apart electronics just because I was curious. I could never get them back together. Times have changed, luckily, but I always took them apart because I was so curious of, well, how does that work in there? How does a radio work anywhere? How does a speaker work? How do you have voice coming out of a cone that's paper or plastic or polyurethane or whatever they make a cone out of, nowadays? But I always had that curiosity about electronics. I should have got into the field, but I got into the music side of it, sound engineer side of it. This is the main input boards and the output boards. So behind here you have the 2 ports that go, well actually the 1 port that goes to the battery pack, the EB3000, and then of course you daisy chain that out. But this is the very, very simplistic board, guys. There's not much on there behind these wires, if I could move them, other than maybe there's a little shunt right here, and then there's not much communications in this thing of what I understand. And then these are all your little bits and pieces that have to go on. You have 2 cooling fans on your system, and then on the other side you just have 2 vents. And then these are all, of course, your corners, and then these are all the screws that came out of the system. And then, you know, like I said, you don't need many tools. You need one of these guys. If you're going to take off this screw right here, you need 1 Allen wrench, a very small one, because that's like a safety screw. And then you have 2 regular Phillips screws that are right here, and then this whole board pops out. But be careful, guys. You have these clips right here that have these little hooks, and you have to get them out. They're kind of like this, and then there's a wall here, and you have to kind of go like that. Hopefully you can see that. So you have to kind of hook them like that behind this little ledge. And then, you know, that kind of helps hold them in there. And then, like I said, there's this one, this one, this one. There's a ton of wires. These 2 come from the MPPT controllers up here, input 1 and input 2, which are the 5-pin aviations on the back. And then here's your small. I think it's that side. Yeah, it would be that side. This would be the. I'm guessing. Your. Boy, it's, you know, it's tough when you look at it from the backside, guys. You know what? Let me swap this bad boy around here. Okay, so, okay, now the board looks better to me. Okay, so you have your 5-pin aviations in here, and then your barrel right here, because this is the top. Okay, so now it makes sense. So, you know, always depending on how you look at something, it looks you know, easier or more confusing. But this is just an added part of this video, an update to really prove to everybody that, you know, a guy with no experience. I don't recommend this for anybody, guys. Absolutely anybody. You know, do this at your own risk. No experience can learn this in a year enough to where you can fix possibly or maintain your system. There was also a lot of dust on here that I cleaned off all the parts, and that way I can have, you know, a cleaner system. A cleaner system runs better. But within the year, I think I did okay, guys. You know, hopefully, you know, thumbs up. I think I did okay. I'm still here. I think that's a huge positive. Messing around with electronics and electricity like that is it's not a joke. You could really end up hospital or dead. So, but I have a passion for electronics, and hopefully my passion is helping you explore your mind as far as what you want to learn. You know, I'm not saying go rip apart your power station, of course, or your batteries. I would never tell you to do that. But what I am telling you is open your mind a little bit, and, you know, learn things that you think are difficult in life, because this is proof. I did it. I had no idea what I'm doing. I changed these. I changed this. I'm going to change something else as soon as it comes in the mail. I'm basically updating my system from version 1 to version 2 the old school way. I'm building it myself. So this is not a Pecron system anymore for me. This is a Ramblin Bob Pecron. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I built a GTO or a Cutlass in my garage for piece by piece. And, you know, the guys out there, or some ladies too, will know what kind of a cool feeling that is, that you actually put it together. You know what I mean? You didn't go to the store and buy something. You maintained it, you fixed it, you built it. That's a really cool feeling. It's a feeling of accomplishment for sure. All right, so I just wanted to put this extra video, guys. It is real. It's all the parts, and obviously by proof of example, here's all the real parts, guys. This is the board that goes here, and this is one of the MPPTs. This is an older one. Well, actually, the newer one that they didn't send me with the soldered on pieces. Now, I could have done that myself. I'm not the best solder guy in the world, but you know, I think I can figure it out. But to have it done safely, obviously, is the key. So anytime you play with anything like this, guys, do yourself a favor. Either don't or be extremely careful. Like I said, I'm not telling you to do this, guys. I just wanted to show you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is the puzzle that I turned my E2000LFP main part into on my workbench. And believe me, that day was frustrating because I learned this on the fly, guys. You know, so don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, I just want to put this extra part of the video, guys. Hopefully all these videos, I don't know, maybe there'll be 1 or 2 more. Like I said, I have another piece that I'm going to put in there. Then I'm going to hopefully upgrade the system. I wish I could do the firmware you know, but I don't know where the communication port is. You know, it's not like a normal system where you have either Wi-Fi app or a USB. We can plug it right in, hit a button, and it updates the firmware. So I would have to send these back to Pecron to actually update the firmware. Now, what I could do is, if there was a certain part of this that does the firmware, I'm assuming it's here. This is the brain of the whole operation, and I could just send this chunk in. But then, you know what the bad thing is, guys? I wouldn't have solar until I got it back. So I'm not down for that. You know what I mean? I'll keep 65 watts until you know, I buy another system or next system, because I don't really need that output. You know, it would have been nice to have, but I don't need it. All right, guys. So just a little bit of proof for you. All right, guys. Ramble on, be safe again, and I'll see you next time on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye, guys. Do not do this. Bye.